Okay, so having started Fusion 360, we open in the model program and we start off with a sketch. So I'm going to start off with a rectangle, and at this stage it doesn't really matter what face we pick, because later on in the program I will show you how to alter the XYZ orientation. So we want to draw a rectangle. At this stage it doesn't really matter what size. Select this line, then we're going to right click, then we're going to set out the dimension, and this is 100 millimeters or 4 inches long, and press enter. Then we're going to select this line, draw it out, and this is going to be 48 millimeters. Press enter, and so now we've defined our size of our box. So now what we're going to do, we're going to extrude that, and we're going to extrude it up. 20 millimeters is sufficient, although the bar stock is 25 millimeters. This is fine for us. So what I want to do now is I want to round these corners off. I just find it's better to do it at this stage. So we're going to modify the 3D image. We're going to put a fillet. We want to fillet on that corner, that corner, that corner. If I can pick the line. I saw it there a minute ago. There he is, and that corner. I'm going to say 6 millimeters there, and that's exactly what we want. So I'm going to press OK. Select that face again, come to sketch, and we want to offset the shape of this box inwards. We want to be left with a 2 millimeter wall thickness here. So we're going to offset it, then specify 2 millimeters, and press OK, and it appears. So then we're going to go into the extrude, and we're going to extrude this inwards, and we want to go in 16 millimeters. It says minus 16 millimeters. Press OK. So you can really make an object very, very quickly. So now we want to extrude a central boss out from the inside. So back into sketch. This time we want to do a circle, and we want the center, and we want to come out 10 millimeters, 10.00, enter, enter. Okay, so then we want to extrude that up 16 millimeters, and press OK. Okay, so having extruded our boss out, I go back to our sketch, and we go back to circle again, that face, and we just want to actually make a drill in here of 3 millimeters. So 3.0, enter, and we come up here, that hole, and we want to extrude it back in that way. In other words, remove the material. Oh, it is -10. That's exactly what we want. So we enter, and basically there is our part, and it's very, very quick. A very, very quick program. Fusion C60 is, well, it is a professional program that is available for hobbyists, and that's how easy it is to make a relatively simple part. So now we're going to go to the CAM operation, and I'll show you how to do the different tool operations to machine this part. Okay, so having completed our 3D construction of this part, we're now going to move into the CAM, which is under the title Manufacture. So this is the general CAM screen then, and the first thing to do is to make a new setup. So this is the screen and the dialog box here. Just a mention of dialog boxes: when one pops up, you start off with the first tag, work your way down through, then go to the second tag, work your way down through, and so on and so forth. So, and you get the hang of it as I'm going along here. So what we have to do is set up this XYZ cursor then into the right orientation. We need the Z pointing up, and we need it over here in this back corner, because milling machines normally start off a program in this back corner here. CNC routers start off in this area here. So what we're going to do, we're going to fill in this dialog box, and it's a milling operation, so that's correct. Here we go, model orientation. So we click on that one, and I know from experience it's the second one, and click on the face where you want it to be. Then what we need to do is stock point, and we need that one there. So now we are in the right orientation and the right start position for the tooling operations. So the machine, the computer, is all on the right page. So we have the Z in the upright position, the Y facing back, and the X in the right, facing out on the right hand side, which is the X positive. So that's all we need to do in this particular part of the box. So let's go to set the stock up. So what we want to do is add material to all sides. So what we're going to do, we're going to add 1 millimeter to each side of the X. Actually, it's 2 millimeters. I'll add 2 millimeters on. The Y is again 2 millimeter, no, 1 millimeter. 1 millimeter there, 1 millimeter at the back. Now this is the bottom. Now there's an additional 5 millimeters on the bottom, and there is half a millimeter, so 0.5 millimeters to the top of the stock, and that's done. So now we have our stock with half a millimeter at the top, 2 millimeters this end, 2 millimeters that end, and 5 millimeters extra at the bottom. So we now have the right amount of stock in relation to our part. So the first operation is we want to face the top off. So that's 2D facing. So we get this dialog box up. Now it's fairly simple. Our first tool, so let's select our first tool. And if we come into vendor tools, there are literally hundreds and hundreds of tools already set up in here. And I know that the 19mm is all the way down the bottom here somewhere. Here we go. Ball mill? No. We want end mill. Here we go. Flat. Full flute. There it is. And we'll select that one. Now, my little milling machine, the motor on this milling machine is 375 watts, which is roughly about half horsepower. And this is a 19mm 4-flute end mill cutting into aluminium. Now it's a big tool for this little motor. So what I'm gonna do, or what you've already seen in the video, I select the slow speed maximum RPM of the motor, which gives me higher torque, which is what it's going to require. And I know that selecting the low speed but high RPM of the motor is going to give me roughly 2000 RPM. Surface speed, these come in automatically, which is fine. Cutting feed rate. Now we're going to slow this right down. Now, as opposed to ArtCAM, ArtCAM runs in millimeters per second. With Fusion 360, it's millimeters per minute. So, you know, if you've been used to ArtCAM, you've sort of got to get used to this alteration. So we're going to say 250 millimeters per minute, which is, you know, quite a slow rate, which is more than sufficient for this little mill with this size tool. Plus we're cutting aluminium and we want a reasonably nice finish. So lead in feed rate, we're going to say we're going to slow that up a bit. We're going to go 100 millimeters per minute. So it's going to be a fairly slow lead in. Lead out, we'll have that the same. Ramp feed. We're going to slow that down even further. We're going to go 50 for that. Plunge rate, or slower again. We're going to go 35 millimeters a minute. I like it to come in fairly slow and gradual. Okay, so we'll move along now to the next box, which is geometry. I don't think we need to do anything with this. No, we don't need to do anything with this. It's just a straight face in. There's no depression or anything, so we don't have to alter that. Fusion 360 normally just works things out for itself. So this is all set up correctly. Fusion 360 has automatically brought the tool down to minus 0.5. We don't have to alter anything here at all. It already knows what the model top height is and the bottom height, which is indicated here, so we don't actually have to do anything there. Tolerance, person direction, I think we need, yep, 0 degrees is fine. That's exactly what we require. If you go onto these, it actually shows you, I think we'll have a little bit of overhang here, or lag over. And we're going to go, I think 10 millimeters here. Stock offset. Yeah, 10 millimeters here, I think. To make sure we cover the whole area. Both directions, that's fine. Both ways. That's okay, that's okay. So everything there is okay. And the linking moves. Within Fusion 360, if you're not sure what something means, you just hover over it and a little dialog box comes up. That's okay. Keep tool down. Yep, that saves a bit of time. That's a little excessive. I'm going to say 16 millimeters there. Lead-in entry, yes. And we're going to say 5 millimeters there. And we can leave that as smooth transition. That's absolutely okay. So we'll press OK now, and it should generate the toolpath if I've done everything correctly. And it has. I think the step over there is a little bit too much. You know, that's probably about 80 to 90% of the tool diameter. That little motor is going to struggle with that. So what we're going to do is right click and edit. And we're going to say step over. There's the problem there, look. So what we're going to say here, we're going to say 6 millimeters, 6.0 millimeters. That is more than enough for this little motor to handle with that diameter. And we're going to press OK again, and that should redo. That's fine. And it's ensuring the tool goes over. That we could probably cut down a bit of time if we reduce this. So we can go in here, edit again. So what we're going to do is go 5 millimeters and 5 millimeters. Press OK and regenerate the toolpath. And if we want to, we can go to this little tag here and run the toolpath. This is not real speed. This is running a lot faster than what it actually will on the mill. But that's the sort of result that we're looking for. So that'll do for that toolpath. So we'll turn. Okay, so the next toolpath is we're going to do a spot drilling and then a drilling. Okay, the next operation, actually is 2 drilling operations. The first one is just to mark the hole in the center here, and the second one is to actually drill it out. So we select the drilling and we select a drill, which in this case is an 1/8 inch 2 flute, and the way to go about this, so maximum speed for this, which is 4,500 RPM, plunge feed. I want to be fairly conservative with this, so we're going to say 100 millimeters a minute. Retract rate, same. which is fine. We don't have to fill anything in here. What I actually normally do is I set a PEC drilling operation, and I just write one code actually, which is what we're going to do now. We'll just do the one code. So we're going to say, otherwise it's going to complicate matters. Bottom a hole. Start drilling at the top of the material, which is 0. This is all okay. And what we want here is chip breaks, because that is a PEC drilling. PEC drilling depth. That's, yeah, well, we only want the PEC drilling to go as far as 8mm, then the last 2 is fine. We're going to leave that. Oh, actually, what we're going to do here is put that 2mm. We're going to go in 2mm at a time. That's the maximum depth we're going to actually go down. Okay, that's how far it goes in and retracts. Accumulated PEC in. Okay, let's give that a try. There we go, and there's our PEC drilling. What I sometimes do is I just let it do the one PEC and then stop the program and then change the tool. That gives me my 2 drilling operations, actually, the spotting of the hole, and then the the full PECing drill operations. That's my preference that I do. But so there's the second operation, and the third operation is the clearance of the material from around the outside. Okay, so this is a contour now, 2D contour, the outside. So we're going to select a tool here. Select tool. So we go back into the vendor's tools, and it's an 8mm 3 flute. Although we're using a 3 flute, choosing a 4 flute's fine. Speed, RPM, 4,500. Cutting feed rate. That needs to be. Well, I'm going to run it. I'm going to do this at 250mm a minute, but I can vary this in Mark III. Lead in feed rate 100. I think that'll be fine. Lead out 100. Ramp feed 50. Ramp plunge again 50. I think that will be just fine. Okay, that's exactly what we're going to do. That's fine, leave that as it is. We're not going to worry about that. Leave all that. The tool is going to be 10mm above the material traveling in rapids. When it travels from the start position here to, I want to start it on this face, this side, it will travel over the material 5mm above it, feed in height, so that means when it comes in here and feeds into the material, it's going to start 5mm above the material. Top height is 0. It's going to start on the top of the material here. Bottom height is minus let me see, 19. Okay, now we come to, that's fine as a tolerance, so we're going to leave that. We're going to leave that. Maximum cut-in radius, I'm going to put that as 3. Finish, leave that. Leave that. We don't, you know, I could taking off. I intend to take off just 2mm depth, running very conservative. Yes, 10mm, and again 10mm. So that means the tool is going to come in here, stand off 10mm, then move in, run around the material, and go past the entry point and come out, and then come around, drop down again and go in. Both ways? No. We're going to go one way, the direction of that arrow, which is climb milling. Rough in pass, no. Multiple depths, yes. Maximum rough in depth. Step over. Rather, it's 2mm. I'm not going to worry about it. You know, a lot of this in this sort of machining strategy is fine. You don't need to fill it in. But certainly this you do. Otherwise it's going to do it all in one go, and that'll be a little bit much for this little mill. Stock to leave, I'm not going to worry about stock to leave. I'm not going to worry about a smoothing. That's okay. This is a very simple job. We're very, very conservative with our cuts, so it's going to be a very nice finish. Entry position, yes, and we want it there. That's exactly, you know, we want to start the program around here on this face so we can see it going in and coming out. And we're going to press OK, and we're going to let's just have a little look at that. That's exactly what we want to do. That's fine. We'll run around the whole thing at the end, but that toolpath is perfect. Close. So now we're going to machine the inside out. Okay. So the next operation is to machine the inside of this out, and the way we do that, we go to I don't want 2D adaptive. It takes out too much material for this small machine. I'm going to just do a standard pocket operation, and we're going to use the same tool, so this is set up correctly for us. Now the geometry is, we select the inside edge of that, press down shift, and the outside edge of that, so it will machine everything in between those areas. So this is correct, it's the selected geometry. So we move now to the next piece, and there again, this is right, that's right. Start off at 0, and we're going down to see what the options are here. Model bottom. There we go, that's fine. So then move to here. But be very careful with this one. We don't want to take off too much material. This is okay, that's okay. Finish pass? No, we don't want to finish pass. We're going to be very conservative again with our cuts, and it's going to be okay both ways. No. Maximum step over. That's way too much. 3 millimeters. Maximum step over. That's okay. Multiple depths. Oh, definitely. We're going to say 2 millimeters here again. Leave that. That's okay to leave that. We're going to put that as 20 millimeters. No leave height. Not interested in a finishing pass. Lead in, that's okay. Fusion 360 will actually, fill a lot of this in for you. You don't necessarily have to fill every box in because it's pretty well done automatically. Ramp type. Here, no, I want profile. Profile. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. No, I'll leave it up to the program to decide, and we're going to press OK there. And it's made the best decision possible there. And I'll do a very quick that looks absolutely fine. We've checked them all. So now you can go straight to the post-processor now, which is very easily done. It's set up. Let me see. Here we go. Post configuration. All. What we're looking here for is Mach 3. Here we go. Mach 3. That's really all you need to put in there. So there we are. I just now save it. It is a Mach 3 mill. That's it. And we can post it to. I'll post it to my desktop. And it's done. You can then just go through one by one and save them to your stick or wherever you, or directly to your machine, wherever you want to save them. So basically that is the cam of this particular part. And if you've seen the last video, you'll see the successful machining of this part. So thank you for joining me for this Fusion 360 very simple tutorial. And please, if you've enjoyed it, press like, subscribe to my channel. On my channel you'll see everything from wood turning to CNC routing to milling. Also I do quite a bit of laser work and shop jobs, such as furniture making and tool making. So thank you for joining me, and don't forget to subscribe, and it's bye for now.